And now we have some dopeness in the building.
Yes.
Welcoming Miss Donnetta Wells from Phenomenal Hues. Let's go.
What's going on, ladies?
Yes, welcome.
How are you?
How
Thank
you been?
Good.
Listen, we love you.
Yes.
I love y'all too. I'm so glad y'all, let me hang out with y'all.
Yes.
Don't
Listen, we
hanging out with
always
us.
be talking about you in these wind down Wednesdays, okay?
Girl.
I'm telling you, I be like, we went to that wind down Wednesday. We had we had wine. It was good. The food was good.
Asking about you.
Yes, I'm coming. Look, we coming back. We coming. We have it be so much stuff going on. We be trying to, shake it and move it.
You dope and grinding.
Yes,
That's what you do.
dope girls
Okay,
grinding. Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
That's what I'm all about.
I know that's right. Tell us what you got going on. How you doing? First tell the people who you are.
Okay, I'm Donnetta Wells. I am a HBCU graduate. I'm very proud about that, FAMU.
Yes.
And I spent about 25 years doing municipal finance. I decided that was a little parasitic for me, that rat race of that and, having to make other folks money. So I decided to kind of use my talents to try to help some of the cities and some of the people that are kind of overlooked because the price tag ain't right. So try to help. So now I'm kind of been working on my own, and I have a company called Wilson Financial, and we go about doing things, trying to help founders raise money at any stage of their business, and leverage different and find different placements, try to bring people together in alternative ways so we don't have to go to banks. We want you to be a bankable CEO and not need a bank, so that you can be a bank for somebody else. And things like that, to be invested in other businesses. So that's the idea of becoming a bankable CEO. Okay. So that's kind of what I am pushing, which is where the Wind Down Wednesdays came from. Yes. So we can learn how to, as CEOs, navigate outside of the boardroom, and because that's where a lot of business is done. Right. My new venture is the Wealth Expansion Blueprint, where I'm bringing in other dope people that care about the people and care about us. The only way we're going to be free, unfortunately, is we got to have a little economic freedom. They say the revolution won't be televised, but it definitely got to be financed.
That's right.
So if we really want to be free, this is the stuff that we have to learn. So I've been very deliberate about selecting people that can help you at any stage, grow your wealth, manage your wealth, protect your wealth, and be able to invest your wealth. And then we're working with a crypto queen that we can own our own wealth. So that's the stage. That's the Wealth Expansion Blueprint. So I got a couple of the people that are going to be supporting me on that with us as well. So
welcome.
Whole team in the back.
Yes. And we see you back there, Ashley. Hi, Ashley. Well, we're so glad you sitting down with us, because I don't know if y'all was listening, but we just had a whole conversation before y'all got here about wealth management, and we have discovered that nobody at this table, everybody at this table needs some wealth management. Okay, because I was just sitting over here like, this sounds horrible.
When I tell you from rock bottom, I'm talking about from under that. I'm gonna need to crawl from up under that to get to somewhere. Very proud to have you on the show, and
appreciate that.
Anyway, in my life, so I can start,
getting it right.
Yeah, getting some changes about myself and getting to where I need to be. So absolutely, just so
yes, I was like, probably not as bad as y'all saying.
No, it's worse, girl. Listen,
I was like, we might have should have had this conversation before we got on the air. Look,
right. So, but honestly, it all comes out in honesty, and that's what it is. It's
fact.
just like,
I think we all have little things, or things that we can work on in areas.
Yeah, because I guess as we were talking and we're developing, we found out we do have a couple of things, you know what I'm saying? Like, all right, I got a 403B. I got something.
Yes,
honey, I ain't got nothing, honey. Okay, I started off with something.
For sure you do.
But okay, so everybody has something, and then we'll go from there. You know what I'm saying? Grow from there. I love it.
Donnetta, tell us how it works. How does Phenomenal Hues work in your adventures that you have going on? Like, what would somebody do that says, okay, I have this foundation or this business and I don't know what to do? They come to you, or is it? Tell us what happens.
So yes and no. So what I've been able to do is put together as far as the phenomenal Hughes aspect, a very phenomenal team of women from all walks of life. Like we have coaches that are bank presidents, we have coaches that are Ivy League graduates, we have coaches that are been recognized by presidents for their work with the Small Business Administration, things like that. So we have a bunch of women that understand the value of their knowledge, and want to share it and understand the importance of sharing that, and also can help us get access to things, because at the end of the day, most of this is about relationships, and there's been a lot of systematic things to keep us from it. It's not that you don't have it or you haven't been earning it, it's how much of it can we take as you walk through life, where you don't end up with it in the end. And so we're just talking about pivoting a little bit, because the whole platform is about to be able to prepare, pivot, and prosper. So if you are just starting, we can help you. We have coaches that work toward, on our platform, that work toward helping you get set up properly, not just that 60-second IG that told you to do this and go there. Like, we need to be together. And kind of really work with you, so you don't have to make the same mistakes. You don't have to bump your head. There's nowhere in the book that says you got to make all the mistakes. Like, you can listen from people that have had the experience, and it's just maybe a little bit easier to swallow when the people look like you and can have a like experience. So maybe it's easier for you to take, but you definitely don't have to make those mistakes again. And then the pivot is, maybe you've been giving all your talents to other people and you want to start using those talents for yourself. So we need to get you prepared. How do we get you the capital that you need to be able to finally leave your job? And I don't recommend that. If you have a good job and we can do both things at the same time, keep that. There's nothing wrong with that. You will know when it's time to go. So I'm not one of those people that say, jump off the bridge and then of course prosper. We want to, once you do make the pivot, we want to teach you how to become bankable, and hopefully you won't even need a bank, because hopefully I'll be successful. I will be successful. I won't say hopefully. Yes. And building a new investor class so that you have places to go for capital that are not institutions that traditionally don't want to help us. And so that's venture capital, that's institutional banks. Black women specifically got less than 1% of all the venture capital, and they still coming for us in a real way. And it's very, very real. So please don't play around with it. This is not a joke. They literally are trying to write us out of everything for our rights. This is really, really happening. It's not a conspiracy theory. There are legal court cases happening as we speak to take away any of the gains that we have made over the last 150 years. And it's they're spending more money on trying to take them away than it would be just to help us a little. So understand what you're dealing with and don't be crazy about it. Like, be very deliberate in the things you do, because we really do have to figure out how to harness it. It's not just their currency. It's our capital really comes from the abilities that we have. And they're looking and figuring out how to monetize those things. So we just have to figure out how to do that for ourselves. That's my whole mission, is to try to illustrate ways to monetize what it is that the God-given talents, because we all got tools, and the reason you have them was to feed yourself and your family. That's the whole point of the gifts that he gave. You're supposed to figure out what that is, and I'm trying to help people figure out how it is so we can monetize it and make money from it, because that's all that's happening. So that's the major thing that's going on.
Listen, and as we go into that and eat it up in our minds, we're gonna go snooze with Scissor.
And we are back on Hits 92.3 with the ladies of FIYE Radio with our special guest, Donnetta Wells. And we also have another guest in the building.
Ashley Scott in the building.
So excited to be here and to talk about the wealth expansion game plan.
So tell us what's going on. Tell us what's popping.
Well, so I'm excited because we have an event that's coming up. We do a series of events, but it's really to help our people, Black women, college students, Black men, anybody who has a desire to really expand their wealth, to leave a lasting legacy. And we have gathered a group of amazing people who can show you the path to building your wealth. So I talk about real estate, and people know me about, or rather know me from, helping 19 Black families come together and buy 502 acres of land. And so one of the things that I try to express as far as how you can build wealth is to do it through land, do it through land ownership, and do it through group economics. Because a lot of times us as Black people, we don't have the same opportunities that our white counterparts have, right? When someone gets a good idea for a business, or they have an investment that they want to do, they can go to their family and friends. We don't usually hear that. We don't usually see that in our community. And the reality is most people don't even have $1,000 in their savings account.
Right.
So if we want to actually build wealth for ourselves, especially as Black people, we have to work together. We have to collaborate. So that's a part of what I like to teach and what I train when I talk about the wealth blueprint, especially for people who don't have access to the initial startup capital that they need.
Yes, I see. I told you.
Take those notes. Take those
Sure.
notes.
That's amazing.
Sure.
Yeah, that's the amazing work that you guys are doing. I love it.
Thank you.
I love it. We need it real bad.
And
Real bad.
It's not easy. And I think that's the challenge, because whenever things get hard, we tend to throw in the towel, right?
Mhm.
We tend to have one bad argument and say, F you, I'm out. And the reality is you have to get past whatever negative experiences you have. We can't allow post-traumatic stress syndrome or even post-traumatic slave syndrome keep us from our birthright. And land, right?
That's fact.
Land is our birthright. And the reality is, if you want to have power and freedom, like Donnetta was sharing, you have to own something. You need to own a business. You need to own some land. You need to own some assets for people to take you seriously. And unfortunately, the only time as a people we have been able to go forward and make noise is when there was somebody from the Black investor class with some money behind it, right? And land produces money. It's the very first thing. And every rich person in the world, when they get rich, they make that $1 billion from selling their shares in their company. They do that exit. They make $380 million. What do you think they put their money back into? They put it back into real estate investments. And so we tend to be afraid of the things that we don't know about. And we want to change that by giving you access to the information you need.
So how we find this? How we find this information?
So we do have a website. This is www.wealthexpansionblueprint.com. So we do have a website, but Phenomenal Hughes, you can navigate your way, phenomenalhughes.com, navigate your way to all the different activities that we're doing, because everything is around, helping you build your business, or helping you navigate your business, helping you when you make the profits, what to do with the business, like every aspect of being entrepreneurs, because that's the only way we're going to be free. We're really not going to be able to do it working for people. That's just what it is. Again, not saying quit your job. I'm just saying the reality is, if we don't have our own businesses so we can hire people, our own people, and kind of use a little bit of reverse nepotism, which is nothing wrong with that, then it's not going to happen. Because as long as you have to ask people for stuff, including the capital, like including having to go to the bank, if we still have to do that, we'll never get there. Because I've worked for a very large bank for a long time, and I'm telling you, is nothing changed. We are still chattel. There are systematic things that are going on that we kind of ignore because they gave us a few advances and kind of made us feel good and named Martin Luther King streets and stuff like that. We didn't forgot.
Hush us up.
We got the street, but we don't own nothing in our hoods, but we killing each other, fighting each other over something that we don't even own.
Yeah.
So as soon as we, and it's coming, Karl Marx says that it takes 3 generations to change. And so we got these we got millennials, and we have the children that are coming after that. And we have a different mindset. There is an awakening going on. So I'm very positive about it. We just have to kind of demystify some things, about money and how it works and our way of thinking about it, because we're kind of survivalists. So it's kind of like we living for the day, which you're supposed to be present and enjoy the experience. But we do have to understand that if we're talking generational, then we have to move that way. And that's and this is part of all I'm trying to do. Like, we'll make it fun and everything, but at the end of the day, I'm gonna have some conversation about, like, get your stuff together, because this is real what's happening. It's a lot of people with a lot of money that don't want us to have none. You understand? So we really, we can have fun and all that kind of stuff, but at the end of the day, we really do need to be deliberate about, pooling our resources. And I don't just mean money, I mean our talents, our access, and being okay with, choosing the right people in the right places. So so
glad that you were doing this, because when I quit my job, because I had this gut feel, I couldn't do it anymore. I was so super over it, and I was supposed to quit the year before, but then we had COVID, so I ended up staying when I should have went ahead and probably quit. But I stayed, and then my mom got sick, and so I did a leave. But I jumped out. I took a leap, and I jumped out, but I should have maybe had a little bit more guidance in that, because I moved a little bit too fast. But I'm still glad that I did it. I don't regret one iota of a split pea moment. Okay, but I'm glad you have that, because there are a lot of people doing that very same thing that haven't been taught or don't have the knowledge, and so I learned by trial and error.
Absolutely.
You know what I'm saying? So
nothing wrong with that, because that's priceless. That knowledge is never gonna be priceless.
Yes,
for sure.
And with that, we're gonna pay a little few bills. Pay a little few bills. And we're back. It's the ladies of FIYE Radio, bringing hot flavor in your ear on Hits 92.3, the real definition of internet radio. And we are here with pure dopeness, Donnetta Wells from Phenomenal Hues. And she has another guest, Ashley Scott, step to the side. And who do we have with us today?
We have Mr. Everett Allen of Secure Your Legacy. And he's definitely talks about protecting your wealth. And so that's his part in the wealth expansion blueprint. And he has a lot of gems and jewels himself.
Let's go.
Yeah, man. So let's get them pens and paper out ready. You know what I'm saying? Look, y'all gonna take some notes. Look, where y'all want me to start? So, man, thank you again for, just the opportunity to come over here and just talk wealth. You know what I'm saying? This is the culture, and this is the shift. You hear what we're talking about and kind of how we're trying to create this change, and it really starts with, everybody in the room, kind of taking that initiative to kind of change something, and then you talk about it, and then, now we got a little, everybody talking about how they changing, but man, super blessed to be, in a position. I'll tell you, man, I met this young lady right here. I called my brother, I told him, said, look, man, I'm expanding my services. My brother is acute. And I said, man, look, I know it's one guy that you got, within your group, man. Who's that one guy that's always talking about business? And so he introduced me to this guy, and this guy charged me to introduce me to other people, and she was one of the people that he introduced me to.
I didn't know I was being leveraged in that way, by the way.
Yeah. And so, the guy ended up, he wasn't.
Listen.
He wasn't. She was probably the best. She is the best situation that could have came from that investment. And so I just wanted to get you the backstory. She don't even know. This first time she hearing it. So
right.
You have the exclusive right here on Hits 92.3.
So, if you're listening, it definitely pays, to invest in yourself and to trust God to, lead you to the people that you need to come into your life. And so,
Nice.
A little sprinkle. Yeah. Trust God. Let's write that down. Number one, trust God. Trust God.
That's
okay. So I'm safeguarding wealth, and my role is I solve problems. I solve financial problems. I look at where the opportunity is in your financial portfolio, and we fill in the gap with what's missing. Right. The first thing that I'll do is I would ask, what's your most valuable asset? What would you say?
My growth.
Your throat? Okay. What would you say yours is?
I'm not sure.
You're not sure?
I'm not sure.
Okay. So your most valuable asset is you, right? Without you being you, don't no bills get paid, ain't no food on the table, and no roof over your head. So the first thing we gotta protect is we gotta protect you.
Learned
Right.
that today.
Right. And so how do we protect you? Well, we got to make sure that the bills are always getting paid. We got to make sure that if you get hurt or sick, Lord forbid, that man, we got a check coming. We got to make sure that if you fall short and go meet the Lord early, that your family and everything that you got set up are jumping off of your shoulders and not your feet.
Mm.
Right? Okay. So that's one thing that we do. The next thing that we do is we help over here in this wealth expansion. You know, we're talking about, you know, how the banks are been using us. I'm going to show you what the bank's been doing. I'm going to help you create your own private bank and allow you to leverage money and have it in two places at one time. It's getting quiet over here. It's getting quiet.
I'm taking it in.
It's getting quiet.
How much all this gonna cost? Look,
I want to know what I got to
It's getting
invest
kind
for
of quiet
my
over
own
here.
bank.
It's getting
I
kind
need
of
to be
quiet.
bartering. Something. I'm trying to get this information. Look.
Yes.
All right. So look, we show you how to use your money, right? We show you, okay, in the banking, right? We got this thing called a line of zero, right? You got money in the bank, you got 10,000, and you need to go buy some. You need to invest something for your craft. You take that money out the bank and you go pay for it, right? Because you got it to spend. That's what we call forfeiting the ability to earn interest off of that dollar. We forfeit it. Because when you take that money out of there, it's depleted.
Yeah.
Right? Okay, so then we go the other way. Now, you know, it's a big push on credit. So your credit, we use our credit score to get credit. And now we're going the other way. Now we're going beneath that line of zero. And we spend money paying that stuff off to get back up to the line of zero. But now we're giving that interest away to somebody else. So what if it was a way for us to spend the money that we got on ourselves and still gain interest off of what we're doing ourselves and not give it away? That's crazy.
I'm listening. You got me all
I'm listening.
in.
Keep going. Don't stop talking now.
Okay. So that's another thing that we're doing. That's another thing. Now, I heard somebody say 401k or 403b. I heard something.
Sean D back there. My 401k gone.
So everybody got a 401k. We got the five. We got something in there. And so a lot of people don't know that there's this thing called the 4% rule, where when you get to retirement age, they said that you should only use 4% of what you're taking out in order for it to survive, right? Now, I don't know about you, but if you making, 80,000, 100,000, and that's what you used to, and then you get to retirement age and they telling you that you can only take out 4% of what you've been saving your whole career, there's a little gap there. There's a little gap, right? Okay, so that's a problem with the 401. Another problem is that you can't guarantee that money is going to be in there, because you can have a situation that happened in 2008 where everybody lost everything. All right. So that's another problem. The other issue is that inflation is a real thing. Like, it costs more to live now than it did 25 years ago. So that means the money's getting spent. And then, we're living longer. So how do we combat all that? So I help, I guide, my clients and people who want to guarantee their retirement, put it in a safe place where it's always going to grow, where you never lose your principal. And if you keep it there for 10 years or more, when you do start taking distribution, they have to pay you for the rest of your life, even if the account runs past zero.
She said, "What is called?"
Hold on. What are we talking about here? What are we talking about here?
He said, "What?" I heard somebody say, "What is called? What is called?"
Look, we talking. Okay, so that's on the personal asset side. As far as safeguarding wealth from a business standpoint, I help uncover overpaid expenses, and I help get federal tax incentives for business owners.
Okay.
Right, that most business owners, they spend so much time trying to keep the doors open that you don't have that bird's eye view over your whole situation, and you're not really capitalizing off of what you're doing. And so I help fill in the gaps on that too. Like, for example, a business has a credit card, right? Everybody, they processing credit cards, they got a POS system.
Mm-hmm.
Well, how did they know about the POS? They got a recommendation. They didn't really scrub the industry and figure out like who got the best rates. So what if they being overcharged for that? Right? What if they done renovation in the building? Right? You get the building. I mean, you got to fix it up and make it look nice. Right? So I help get those tax credits on you spending that money that you already spent to make the building look good. All right. So now you got the building, you got the employees. Now you got to get them filled in the seats. So I help get tax credits on every employee that comes in the door. All right. Some of these like 33,000 an employee.
Mm.
So again, it's just filling in them gaps with solving problems.
I like it. I like it a lot.
I love it. I'm wondering why these courses are not taught in school. Like why they don't, teach us this from early
They don't
on.
want us to know it.
Yeah.
They don't want the kids to know it. They didn't want us to know it in school.
Yeah.
People that are educated aren't fit to be slaves. So who gonna pay for everything?
That's
if
crazy.
we know what to do, then who gonna pay for everything?
Right.
That's all it is. It's very systematic. It's all here. Nothing we're talking about is brand new.
No, absolutely
That's
not.
the whole
Absolutely.
thing. This stuff is old hat. Like
Yeah.
before we were even here, most of the like it changes, but the core of what it is, they might change the name, or depending on who in office, it might who want to sign their name on the bill or whatever. It changes, but the core of how our country works and how our monetary system works, it hasn't changed for 300 years. So even when they adjust because they have the bottom fall out every so often, but for the most part, this stuff is here, and we just don't know, hiding in plain sight. Like they say, they tell you everything. It's up to you to pay attention and be aware, and so that's what we're trying to do, kind of sound the horn, so that you pay attention to what's going on. But none of this, and the stuff he's talking about really doesn't cost you anything. We just need to set it up so that as we help you mitigate your risk and your expenses, then we profit as well from that service that we're providing.
Mm-hmm.
But at the end of the day, once we teach it to you, that's something you keep rolling with
Right.
after that. Yeah. So
Yeah, because I recently went to an event, and there was a young man like kind of discussing about how his business generated over several $1 million in income, but he lost it all because again, the streets will teach you how to hustle and make that money, but it don't teach you how to maintain it.
absolutely not.
And I think that that's a struggle that a lot of people, especially people that look like us, that we deal with.
Mm-hmm.
We know how to make a quick dollar, but
75% of us.
Yeah.
how do you
Not
maintain
more.
it?
Because how else we've been surviving? Otherwise, of course, we know how
Survival
to make
mode.
it. It's about keeping it. But if you keep it, then you're not going to do the same running. So you're not going to give up yourself the same way to survive. So, it's not set up for us to do that. But we hope to change that because it's just knowledge and action. Like once you know, you can't unknow. So you know better, you do better.
Yes,
That's
exactly.
all this stuff your grandma done told you. It's real. Like there's certain truths to life and all of that stuff. It doesn't change. So we just here kind of trying to illuminate, hey, this is here. This is what you can do. It's available to you. Nothing's keeping you from doing it. You don't have to have a lot of money. It's just a system and a thought process. You just have to be willing to keep going when it's not good, when you argue, all that stuff, and just understand that this not personal. We just trying to be free. Like, don't, we got to keep going, and you're not going to like everybody. And listen, everybody ain't going to go.
Nope.
You got to be okay with that
all
too.
money ain't good money, and
That too.
relationships ain't good either.
Yep. And the most important thing really is the gifts that that you got, that you came in this place with, and the promise that you made to help put these gifts out. So all we're trying to do is make that easier for you, so you don't have to be here like dead at 65 because you stressed out, burning counter at both ends just to make it. You know what I mean? And then people that are willing to do this kind of stuff, that's part of, we got to protect those people too that are willing to be the organizers,
Right.
that are willing to kind of, you know,
front line of it all.
and get it started. Yeah, for sure.
Well, I love what y'all doing. This is a prime example of your purpose, your alignment, and then you take that and you can prosper if you do it right.
Absolutely.
So you just got to stay in alignment with God and everything you're doing in your gifts.
Absolutely.
You know?
Absolutely.
And it's like eating the elephant. Like, you're not gonna get it all in one serving. You know, you gotta, what I love about it is that I get to meet people where they are, and relate to them and kind of make it make sense, you know. So, one thing we're talking about, safeguarding wealth, right? But, some of my clients like, look, it's like putting a bulletproof vest around your money, or, we want to put a portion of that retirement that we got, in the crock pot. You know what I'm saying? Everybody, you got the crock pot, you put something in there, you leave it in there, you come home, it's ready to go. Same thing should be with your retirement money. That should be tender.
Right. Yeah. Tell everybody where to find you at, how they can get in touch, and all of that good stuff.
Absolutely. So our website is phenomenalhues.com. And we also have an event page for the Wealth Expansion Blueprint with it, which is just wealthexpansionblueprint.com. Making it very simple with the branding here, definitely. But you can, we're on IG as well. That can get you to everything at Phenomenal Hues Live on IG. So definitely can reach us that way. And those will be the, kind of the best ways to get in touch. And just take a look and see what we're doing and come check us out. We definitely have several events going on in the city every month.
Yeah, my personal website is securingthelegacy.com. Again, I'm Everett Allen. Get me on Facebook, Instagram, Secure the Legacy. Thank you for the opportunity.
Thank you guys for coming. And Ashley, come tell them where to find you at. Scoot on up in.
And you all can find me at Ashley Scott KW on Instagram. And you can also visit my website, ashleyscottinspires.com.
All right, let's go. I love it. The dopeness in the building. And with that, we're going to go to a little bit of Tiny Topics.
No, we're going to go to some music.
From 9 until 3 a.m.
to 3 in the morning.
Pull up on us.